If we asked you right now, what percentage chance would you give Shedeur to start week 1 for the Browns? What percentage point are you setting?
30, maybe. Still think Deshaun's going to get a shot. I look at all the money they've sunk into it. There's a reason why Deshaun at one point was the 12th overall pick in the draft. There's a reason why Deshaun was twice the highest paid player in all of football. There is so much. I think it's likely that Deshaun gets back up to the level he was at the end in Houston. No. But, I mean, I think even if he got 80% of the way there, that would be a higher level than a lot of teams perceive the ceiling for Shedeur Sanders.
Everyone thought Shedeur Sanders was stepping into the NFL with a clear path, a franchise waiting, and a future already written. Now, that story is falling apart. Across the league, the conversation has completely split. Some still see a rising quarterback ready to take control. Others are openly questioning if he will even win the starting job. And inside Cleveland, the situation keeps getting more complicated, especially with Deshaun Watson still part of the equation. What changed? Because this is not just about stats or one season. This is about trust. It is about how quickly the NFL decides who you are and how hard it is to change that once the narrative starts. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is stuck in the worst position possible. Not established, not secure. And with every new report, every new debate, one question keeps getting louder. Did the NFL already make up its mind?
Well, ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler has linked the Browns to Ty Simpson. Mary Kay has linked the Browns to Ty Simpson. And you talk about, well, what's really in the news lately, it's Dan Orlovsky, ESPN NFL analyst, saying that he thinks Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in this draft. Have you lost your dang mind, Dan? I mean, what are we talking about here now? And then Mike Tannenbaum, another ESPN guy, responds to Dan Orlovsky saying, in talking to clubs, this opinion is shared by other teams as well, that Ty Simpson's QB1 in this class. Thankfully, we have Mel Kiper, who comes over the top of everybody and said, yeah, that's not shared by anybody I've spoken to.
The most dangerous place a young quarterback can be in the NFL is not failure, it is uncertainty. And right now, that is exactly where Shedeur Sanders stands. Turn on any major show, scroll through any insider report, and the message is completely divided. One side believes he still has the tools, the poise, and the confidence to become a long-term starter. They point to flashes, moments where the game slows down for him, where his accuracy and composure look like something real. To them, this is a young quarterback still developing, still adjusting, still on schedule. But the other side is far less patient. There are voices across NFL media openly questioning whether he is ready at all. Not in a year, not after development, right now. They are not debating his ceiling, they are questioning his floor. They are asking whether he can hold on to a starting job in a league that replaces quarterbacks faster than ever. And that is where this becomes a problem. Because when the league cannot agree on what you are, teams start preparing for every outcome. They don't commit. They don't build around you. They keep options open. They protect themselves. That uncertainty changes everything.
I've turned the corner on Shedeur. I think he deserves every chance to be the guy, and it's just a matter of how he performs.
What is the scenario where he doesn't play 12 games? Like,
Watson takes the job and runs with it.
What?
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we go to OTAs and Dylan Gabriel's the backup to Shedeur Sanders. I wouldn't be shocked by that. And Watson would be third on that list, would you?
Not in April, I wouldn't.
Right.
But not in July.
Would you be shocked? Would you be shocked if Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback? Well, we don't know who they're opening with. In week
start
1.
the season?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I agree with Riz that it's more logical to start with Shedeur.
It affects how coaches call plays. It affects how much patience the front office shows. It even affects how teammates respond, because players can feel when a situation is unstable. And in Cleveland, nothing about this situation feels settled. This is no longer about hype. It is no longer about potential. It is about clarity. And right now, there is none. When half the league sees a future starter and the other half sees a question mark, the clock starts moving faster than anyone realizes. Because in the NFL, indecision rarely lasts long. It turns into a decision, and when that moment comes, it rarely favors the quarterback still trying to prove who he is.
Getting a Ty Simpson doesn't improve your offense. And so you've got Shedeur, you've got Watson, you've got Gabriel. To me, Gabriel's out of the mix completely, and so it's Shedeur versus Watson in this quarterback battle in the offseason, right? May the best quarterback win. If I'm putting money on it, I think Shedeur wins this. I think Shedeur should be the starter in week 1. And so my point overall here is you build a system in this draft. You don't get another game manager, Mac Jones-style quarterback. Okay, we tried that with Gabriel last year. No. You've got a guy in Sanders who showed you something last year. You had an offensive line who showed you nothing.
Before he ever took an NFL snap, Shedeur Sanders was already a story bigger than football. The name carried weight. The spotlight followed him everywhere. Coming from a dominant college run under his father, Deshaun Sanders, the expectations were never normal. He was not viewed as a project. He was viewed as inevitable, a quarterback who would walk into the league and take control of a franchise. That belief built quickly, too quickly, because the NFL doesn't care about narratives. It exposes them, and the reality hit almost immediately. The draft did not go the way many expected. Instead of being treated like a guaranteed franchise cornerstone, questions started surfacing. Teams hesitated. Concerns that had been ignored during the hype cycle suddenly became part of the conversation. Decision-making, adaptability, fit within a system. Then came the rookie season. The flashes were there. Moments where everything looked smooth, drives that showed confidence, throws that reminded people why the hype existed in the first place. But those moments never stayed long enough to define him. They were followed by inconsistency, missed reads, turnovers, situations where the game sped up instead of slowing down. And that's the gap that matters. Because hype creates an image, reality tests it.
Do you believe that Shedeur has a chance to get this right, or are we just kicking the can down the road until 2027?
All right, so here's the way that they think about it, based on my conversations with people around the Browns, and also coaches who know what's going on there. Look, there was this belief in coaching circles that if you want to work with the Browns, you've got to at least believe that Shedeur Sanders will be a factor in the quarterback position. Nobody's handing him the job, to be clear, but there was this belief that, look, there's talent with this guy. There's no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, I strongly believe, had there not been concerns with his character, he would not have gotten out of the 3rd round. He's a drop-back quarterback. He's not a runner. He could scramble. He's not a runner.
Right now, Shedeur Sanders is stuck between those two worlds. He's not the dominant college quarterback anymore, but he hasn't yet proven he can control an NFL offense consistently. And that space in between is where doubt grows the fastest. The league is not judging what he could become, it's reacting to what he has shown so far. And when expectations start high, the fall feels sharper. That's why this conversation feels different. It's no longer about how great he looked before, it's about whether he can match that image now. And so far, the answer has not been clear enough to silence the questions.
Is it because, oh, no, it's really because there's too much drama and he's got fans and we're afraid of fans. Oh, no, it's actually he doesn't know how to watch film. Oh, no, actually it's because he's not committed. Dog, I told y'all this a year ago. They keep proving me right. If the lie was consistent, I could at least believe you. But no, it starts with the worst formal interview ever. And then it goes to made him feel small. Then it goes to, oh, well, he put a trick play up there from the Giants and he didn't recognize it. Then it goes, oh, well, he's a nepo, right? Then he's a terrible person. Then, oh, wait, he's not a terrible person. It's actually, I remember this on the Pat McAfee show. It's actually because he didn't throw out the combine.
For a while, the conversation around Shedeur Sanders felt like speculation, opinions, debates, different takes competing for attention. That changed the moment insiders started talking. Because when names like Adam Schefter and Mel Kiper enter the conversation, the tone shifts. This is no longer just media noise. This is information tied to what teams are actually thinking, and the message has not been reassuring.
I just look at it and I think to myself, if I've already sunk all that money into Deshaun Watson, I can't get out of that money for this year. He's still relatively young for his position. Don't I owe it to myself to make sure he's not the answer before I let him go off somewhere else next year, especially when I have a new coaching staff that doesn't have the skeletons in the closet with him that Stefanski and then that staff had? Like, it was just what weighed that staff down with him, I think, was the history of going through the trade together and everything else. Like, you have none of that now. There's a chance to kind of get a fresh set of eyes on him. There's a chance to get a fresh perspective on him. There's a chance to let him compete for a job. I've seen Deshaun Watson play at a high level too much.
Reports suggest that Cleveland is still evaluating its quarterback situation more aggressively than expected. There is no clear commitment, no locked-in direction. Instead, there are signs that the team is keeping options open, preparing for multiple outcomes depending on how things unfold. That tells you everything, because teams do not hesitate like this when they believe they have their guy. They do not leave room for doubt. They do not create uncertainty in the most important position on the field. But here, the door is still open for competition, open for adjustments, open for changes that could come faster than anyone anticipated. And that is where the pressure intensifies, because now it is not just about proving yourself over time, it's about proving it immediately. Every rep matters. Every performance is evaluated through a different lens, not as growth, but as confirmation. Are you the answer or are you not? That is the question insiders are quietly pointing toward. And once that question starts being asked at that level, it spreads quickly. Across the front office, across the coaching staff, across the entire organization. Momentum in the NFL is fragile. It can build fast, but it can disappear even faster. Right now, the momentum around Shedeur Sanders is shifting. And when insiders start signaling uncertainty, it usually means the decision is already closer than it appears.
And for a couple of reasons. Number one, I can't see Deshaun Watson as a backup quarterback on this team. The idea that if he's healthy and standing on the sideline watching Shedeur play quarterback, I can't wrap my head around that. So I'm assuming he's going to be healthy, and that means he's going to start. Mary Kay Cabot, who covers the Browns for the Plain Dealer Cleveland.com, is on our show every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. She was on with the morning guys today, and she was asked the same type of thing.
No matter how this situation is framed, one name continues to shape everything around Shedeur Sanders, and that is Deshaun Watson. This is not just another quarterback in the room. This is a player tied to massive expectations, a complex contract, and a front office that has already invested heavily in him. That alone changes how decisions are made. Because even if Watson is not performing at an elite level, he still carries weight. Financially, structurally, politically. And in the NFL, those factors matter just as much as on-field production. For Shedeur, that creates a situation where opportunity is never fully his. Every rep, every start, every evaluation comes with a shadow. Not just whether he is playing well, but whether the team is ready to fully move on from Watson. And that hesitation slows everything down. This is no longer a clean competition. It is layered with pressure, expectations, and decisions that go beyond football. And when a young quarterback enters that kind of environment, development becomes harder, not easier. Because sometimes it's not about proving you're good enough. It's about whether the situation will ever truly let you take control.
Shedeur was in, okay? We can't ignore facts of the situation. First of all, the offensive line was awful. Not only was it bad, they were hurt. So he's on the second stringers, third stringers of an already bad offensive line. Most of the interceptions, lots of the interceptions, were batted balls. I mean, how many of them went, off of Jerry Jeudy's hands and then picked off Judkin's shoulder? That's an interception. He was not prepped to go in either. You have to consider that. He was never part of Kevin Stefanski's plan. He was quarterback 4 in preseason. Then he was quarterback 3 when Flacco was benched. Then Pickett got traded, Flacco got traded, then he's quarterback 2. And it took Gabriel getting hurt for Shedeur to ever get in the game. never having been prepped, never having been given a rep with that unit. I'm not saying all this to make excuses for Shedeur Sanders.
There's another side to this story, and it sounds completely different. Some reports suggest that Shedeur Sanders is impressing, that he is confident, composed, and steadily gaining support, that he is winning over parts of the media and shifting the narrative in his favor. On the surface, that feels like momentum, but in the NFL, perception outside the building doesn't always match reality inside it. Because teams do not make decisions based on headlines. They make them based on trust, consistency, execution in moments that don't show up in highlights. And that's where the divide becomes clear. The same performances that some see as progress, others see as incomplete. The same confidence that looks like leadership to one group can look like uncertainty to another. And when opinions split like this, it means the evaluation is still ongoing. That is the key. He is not established yet. And until that changes, positive buzz only goes so far. It can build attention, it can shift conversations, but it cannot secure a role. Because in the end, the only opinion that matters is the one made behind closed doors. And right now, that decision still feels unfinished. The NFL moves faster than any league, especially at quarterback. And that's what makes this moment so important for Shedeur Sanders. He is still early in his career, still developing, still learning the speed and complexity of the game. But the league doesn't always wait for that process to play out. It looks for signs, immediate ones, clear ones. And if those signs are not strong enough, teams start preparing for the next option. That's what makes this situation feel urgent. There's competition in the room. There's uncertainty from insiders. There's a divided narrative around what he actually is. And all of that creates pressure that builds faster than it should for a young quarterback. Because this is not just about growth anymore. It's about timing. If he shows enough, the story changes completely. He becomes the answer, the investment, the direction. But if the doubt continues, even slightly, the conversation shifts again, toward replacements, toward alternatives, toward moving on. And that is the reality of this league. The scariest part is not that Shedeur Sanders is struggling, it's that the decision about him might already be closer than anyone realizes.